Hey, you made it. Let's talk about weird character sheets. But first, this is a trick I've been wanting to show you guys for a while. Look, you've got your uncured aboleth mucus, but you can drink it too. You're gonna need a measurer. This stuff is super toxic if you don't get the ratios right. Glass, ice. Ooh, shaking a little bit. I've done this before. Okay, 1 measure, half measure, and then a quarter measure. Okay, this right here, straight poison. However, if you have aboleth acid spray, you can add that to neutralize the toxins. 1 measure, put it in, swirl it around. Cheers, Prost. Let's talk about our character sheets. This is a character sheet, believe it or not. You're gonna see right away what's on here. It's a picture of somebody and there are no stats. What is going on here? Well, first and foremost, let me just tell you, I've been playing this character for a while, so the basic stats that you need to run a character, like their armor class and hit points, speed and stuff like that, I just had that memorized, so I don't need to write that down. But, you know, I'm sure you're asking, what about all of your ability scores, modifiers, skills, proficiency, saving throws, and all that? I will tell you about that, but in order to do that, I gotta let you know a little bit of backstory, and that is, I did not like playing a fighter. Fighter was like a walking armor class. It was really, really boring, and so I was looking for a new character. Looking for classes where, you know, the abilities were cooler, but I realized that I can just make this character cooler by being a little more inventive, being a little more creative, and coming up with ways that I can make the experience of playing this person more interesting. So I reached out to the DM and I said, listen, I've got a wild idea, and he was totally down with my idea. My idea was to make this person undead. I just wanted to have the experience of playing a character that was basically disintegrating, like had an expiration date. Like the more I play the character, the faster they disintegrate into nothingness, the less effective they get. I decided that this person doesn't have any ability scores or bonuses. If I had to roll anything, I just roll the d20 and tell the DM what the number is. Dead. And there's a little bit more story to this. So this person, let me take a seat here. The backstory here I told the DM was that this person was in a bar. A fight breaks out, he's trying to defend somebody's honor. Somebody smashes something over the back of his head, he goes unconscious, and during that time, he's dragged off to some secret location and encounters a lich. And the lich rips the soul out of his body and then uses it for something. It could have been like a spell component or maybe fuel source for an artifact, but nonetheless, he uses up the life's blood of this person's soul. It's still functioning, however, it's been abused and maligned so much that it's barely functioning. And for whatever reason that I don't even understand as a player, the Lich puts Fail is the character's name, sorry. The Lich puts Fail's soul back into his body, barely functioning. And now he is a kind of undead. I called it the Eindulmadir. Here, let me pick it up. The Eindulmadir. Maybe in the elf civilization, they have a special name for people who aren't exactly corpulent undead, you know, like zombies and skeletons, but are otherwise have been maligned and rejected from the normal living world in a different way. And they call these people the Eindulmadir. Eindulmadir is the name of a dungeon synth artist that I really like. And I thought, oh, that's a great name. And as I've said before, I think you should be putting on your character sheet the stuff that you are personally affected to in life, because, I mean, after all, you're gonna sit down and you're gonna play D&D for 4 hours or something like that. You're gonna be looking at this character sheet. So before we get to the inside, taking another drink. So good. There's an inside. The inside of the character sheet is what Fail can say. The text is really small, so you probably can't read it. I'll do a quick zoom in. Because Fail is undead, because Fail does not have complete use of his mind, I decided that whatever he says, even though he's not totally in control of it, whatever he says is going to be absolutely fixated, obsessed with death, sadness, the forlorn, rejection, over-the-top melodramatic stuff. For my money, I immediately thought of Lane Staley from Alice in Chains. Tragically died of, I think it was a heroin overdose, or it might have been heroin/cocaine, and really just wasted away at the end of his life. His lyrical output was still largely obsessed with death, rejection, sadness, darkness. And I decided I'm just gonna rake their whole catalog for his lyrics, and I'll put down the ones that I like. And I actually have more than this, but this is all that fit. Hi. This is a D12 rolling mechanic. Instead of deciding what he was going to say, I rolled a D12. Every time that he had to speak, I either chose from this menu and rolled a D12, or I chose from this menu and rolled a D12, and that's what he said. And it was really fun. It didn't affect the game in any kind of like material, concrete way. It was just kind of a funny thing. I certainly enjoyed getting to roll more dice. That's part of the reason why I did it, and I still do it with other characters, is I like to roll dice at the table, and it's not your purview to tell the DM when you get to roll dice. So if you want to roll more dice, gotta come up with some reason that doesn't affect the DM's game or their world. And, you know, internal stuff. Sorry, I'm gonna get off my knees here. You also notice up here that I taped up the phrase music. When soft voices die, that, again, mechanically, that doesn't mean anything. That's just something aesthetically I liked. It is from a Percy Bysshe Shelley poem, a quite famous one. In fact, let me get out my book. Hold on. All right, got it.
English poetry of the 19th century.
By the way, love these old books that you can find anywhere in America, like a garage sale, a library sale, or whatever. These old musty collections of important literature from bygone era, and nobody cares about them, so they're practically giving them away. But man alive, I love these old books. So let's find Percy Bysshe Shelley. Oh yeah, here it is right here, 208. Music, actually. Shit. Music when soft voices die. I'm not gonna read it. So there you go. It's a fun little... Okay, drink. Have some. If you are not familiar, this is a Sarac. If you don't know a Sarac, real briefly, he's the main antagonist of the infamous dungeon crawling module Tomb of Horrors, written by none other than Gary Gygax. The Death Trap dungeon, it is infamous for not being very fun, because it tests player knowledge, how to survive, so it's not like adventure-y fun, it's just a grindhouse that you gotta survive. And this is a picture, this is what he looks like at the end of Tomb of Horrors. The characters, if they are so lucky and so brave and so skilled to get to the final treasure room, notably this skull with ruby eyes and ruby teeth, and that is supposed to be a Sarac. So why do I have a Sarac on here? It's because remember, I said the character meets a lich, and I thought, well, if I'm gonna have him meet a lich, let's just go big or go home. And it also helped me do this, which was part of the design of it. I didn't know what picture to use for fail. This is not anything what I thought that my character was gonna look like. Hey, let's put this into one of those newfangled, everybody watermark this video. I said newfangled AI. In 2023. I put this image of a Sarac into an AI image generator. I used it as a seed image, and then I had the AI generator create images based on that. But when I came up with this, I thought this was so striking to me. Exhaustion, judgment. There's a lot going on there, I think. Plus I got this bonus. I have no idea what these are. Are these like a natural geological feature of the world? They look like they could have been made. Like termites build stuff like out of their own bodily secretions. I don't know, this was really cool to me, and I really like the idea that, for the sake of putting it out there, I think it's really, really fun and really cool to put things on your character sheet that you as a player don't know about and that you need to discover through the course of playing the character. Finally, we have this quote I put on here for fun. We do not exist, we get existed. Number one, when I remembered this quote, and I thought that's totally something that a Sarac would say. The idea that like maybe to fail, like you're not in control of your own life, you're not in control of your own existence. I'm in control of it. It's actually a quote from Thomas Bernhard, who was like a German writer and playwright. A lot of his books published in the 80s. I only read one of his books, The Loser, and I did not like it, but it had a number of quotes in there that were very striking, including this one, we do not exist, we get existed. And I remember reading it at the time and thinking, that was actually quite profound. Honestly, I still do to this day. Like the idea that we are not in control of our own lives, right? Like we get conceived, somebody else conceives us. We don't have that idea. We don't give anybody consent to do that. We're literally made and brought into this world as a result of somebody else's decisions. And before, this character sheet makes you go deep, makes you think about a lot of things. cheers to that. So that's it. Hope you found this interesting, maybe inspirational. Anyway, thank you for watching the video. I hope you liked it. Oh yeah, and really quick, I have another video where I made a character sheet like this, in the sense that it was very unconventional. A character sheet for a single cell organism. I will put a link, I'll put it somewhere in this zone. If you like this one, I think you'll like that too, so please watch it. Stay ensorcelled, friends.